Hi, bestie. Welcome back to Girl House. It is sadly just me this week. Celia is sick. I was sick last week. Basically, we all, after our bender weekend, got severely sick. Me, Celia, Britta. I don't know if our friend Jamie got sick or not. I haven't heard anything about her being sick. I know Celia, me, and Britta have been suffering. I'm finally feeling better. Celia is still in the midst of being sick, so it is me solo. And it's so crazy because, like, I know I said this last time I recorded solo, but I literally do not know how to speak. I know I started this podcast alone and it used to just be me, but I'm just so used to Celia being here, obviously, because now it's the two of us that it feels like I don't know how to talk when she's not here. So it's just you and me chit-chatting today, I guess. I asked you on IG what you wanted to chit-chat about today, so I think we'll just go up and down the list. I'm trying to think if I have any like crazy updates for you before I get into today's up. Let me think. It feels so weird to be giving updates when Celia's not here. Do I have any updates? Has anything happened? Well, I do have one update. I've gotten super into, and by super into, it's going to be my second day today. I've gotten really into watercoloring and I cannot recommend it more. I got just the little Crayola watercolor set and I actually got a more sophisticated Crayola watercolor set today. Obviously, Mod Podging is my favorite thing to do. That being said, it gets your hands all sticky. I have to put a towel down. It's like a whole process, but basically, Cleo, she ever like since we moved here, she knows that she can go outside now because I take her and Luna out on their harnesses in the backyard. And because she knows she can go outside, she literally howls at the door or the window, sometimes for hours until, like, she is relentless. She will not stop howling until I take her out. I try to take Cleo and Luna outside for at least a half an hour a day. But now that I got this really cute little coloring book at Urban Outfitters and some watercolors, and now I just am going to pass the time each day. I sit outside and watercolor, and it's seriously awesome. Um, so that's my exciting update. Oh, my other update I forgot to tell you like 2 weeks ago because there's just been a lot going on, I guess. Remember a few weeks ago when I was telling you that that guy came up to me at the gym, asked to take me on a date, and Celia and I were talking about it, and I was like, she thought I should go. I got kind of a weird vibe. And then we tried to find his Instagram and he had no social media. So I was just like, I can't even investigate this man. All I know is like a brief interaction at the gym. And like just something about him, I just got a weird vibe. Probably because one of the things, what did he refer to himself as? He told me his name, but he was like, I also can go by like some superhero name. And I was just like, why the hell would I ever call you that? Anyway, I never texted him back because I just wasn't interested in going on the date. I didn't, it, it just, it was, yeah. And I didn't really think I'd ever see him again. Obviously, we go to the same gym, but I thought like we'd just kind of steer clear of each other. But like 2 weeks ago, I was on the Stairmaster. This is my worst nightmare. And this is why I will never have a gym crush because things like this can happen. I was on the Stairmaster, just like trying to get through my 45 minutes listening to music when all of a sudden I see this man walking towards me, the man who asked for my number and asked to take me on a date. This is my worst nightmare. He got on the Stairmaster next to me, made me take my headphones out, and then grilled me for 20 minutes asking why I didn't text him back. First of all, I hate confrontation, so this is already my worst nightmare. Second of all, I hate, even if it's like my best friend, aka Celia, I do not talk at the gym. I hate talking at the gym. Like when I'm working out, I like to listen to music and not speak. It is my biggest like pet peeve ever when I go to the gym with someone and they're trying to talk to me. I just can't do it. So this was like two nightmares wrapped in one because number one, confrontation from a weird man, and number two, where I'm being forced to talk to him. And you may say, why didn't you just put your headphones in and ignore him? Probably just because I'm a people pleaser and it was awkward. I don't know. But not only did he grill me for like not going on the date with him, Then he went into like this 20-minute long spiel about how much more intelligent he is than me. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Like he was basically trying to like, because I like didn't want to go on a date with him, I guess he was trying to shit on me for being unintelligent. And he was like going on about how like every single woman he ever dates is just like on such a lower intelligence level than him. And then he was telling me, like, if I ever even did want to go on a date with him, I'd have to sign an NDA because, like, everyone's just after him for his money. And I'm like, bro, first of all, which, like, he claims he owns his own company and has all this. He says he can't be online because of the business he's doing, because of law. It was all very confusing. Number one, no man is worthy. I will never sign an NDA for any man. That's really bizarre. Even if I did like him, then I couldn't tell you about him. That would be a problem. Number two, I was just really, really right on my like terrible gut feeling about him because he was such a freak. Like, I'm not really I feel like I'm not really relaying how freaky he was, and I can't really remember everything he said because it was a few weeks ago now. But I will just say, like, he was the most like arrogant, creepy, weird guy ever. Then after basically putting me down and shitting on me and like my lack of intelligence, which not to pull the law school card, but I did pull it because I'm sorry, I felt like I had to. Anyway, and you know, too, like one of my biggest insecurities, I hate when people come for my intelligence because people always assume I'm dumb. My whole entire life, people have always assumed I'm dumb because I think I like to make a joke here and there. Sorry, that doesn't. Anyway, after this whole like interrogation from him, he told me like, well, I still would like to take you on a date. And I was just at this point just wanted him to go away. So I was like, okay, you can text me. And he was like, I've already deleted your number. It's like, okay. So anyway, he told me to please text him if I'd like to go on a date with him, which why the hell would I ever want to go on a date with him, especially after like I guess that must be his method to like put girls down so they feel like he's so awesome. But that was yeah, major ick to me. Now my heart drops every single time I think I see him at the gym because I'm scared he's gonna confront me again. And I'm just really not in the I'm never speaking to anyone at the gym again. It's too much. It's really too much. And I just can't do it. My last update, small update, I dropped Ducky off at the groomers today and they literally charged me double. I mean, I get it. But they charged me double of what it usually is to get him groomed because the man, I guess, after they had bathed and blow dried him and he was ready to go, he pooped on the table. And then he got that all over himself and they had to re-bathe and re-blow dry him. So he literally, like, Ducky's haircut today cost more than my haircut, which is super awesome. Love that. Anyway, I guess we'll just get into, I'm just gonna open up this little Q&A box and we can chit chat because Celia's not here and I feel so alone, but you're here with me. Okay. First one, how do you manage OCD other than Prozac? LOL. Well, I am on a Prozac Wellbutrin combo, may I say, which I don't know. I was actually talking to a friend the other day who's like on just Wellbutrin for OCD, and I'm like, I don't know how that's possible because Wellbutrin, like, the only reason I'm on Wellbutrin is because it like counteracts some of the negative side effects of Prozac. But I feel like therapy helps, though, I don't have a therapist right now because I got rid of my last one because she was absolutely insane. Just because someone is a therapist does not mean they are going to give good advice. All you have to do is go to school to become a therapist and do some whatever hours after. And she was nuts, and I've spoken about that in the past. I don't even know. Just if you don't remember or you haven't heard, she would just say all these crazy things about, like, at the time, like, the guy I was dating, like, he was so controlling and crazy, and she would, like, tell me, like, I had to be submissive towards him, which I was like, what? Then when I was like feeling like stressed, Celia was leaving LA, she was like, well, I know I shouldn't say this to you, but I've never been more miserable in my life than when I lived in Southern California. And I was like, that's really not helpful to what we're chatting about. And then I talked about this was like the weirdest thing. I have OCD, and she would do things like this all the time, but I have OCD. So obviously, like my brain always goes to like worst case scenario. I catastrophize everything all the time. And when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, I was telling her like I was friends with someone and I ran into them on the street and it just like seemed awkward because then we never hung out, whatever. Whole point being, she suggested, well, is she dating your ex-boyfriend? And that was when I was just like, this woman is insane. Why would she even ever, like, first of all, they don't even know each other. There's no correlation. Second of all, why would you say that to someone with OCD? Anyway, I said goodbye to her because there were a lot of issues with her. But I do think therapy helps if you have a good therapist. I guess, like, for me, I've had OCD my whole life. And I've had it in like so many different forms. And I have a whole episode about that, like one of the first episodes I ever did. And I can do another one. But I've had it my whole life. So I feel like I've kind of learned to deal with it. Like it's just, I know it's how my brain works. And like Prozac, obviously it helps, but it doesn't. I'm also on a pretty low dosage of Prozac because when I went on a higher dosage, there were just a lot of like negative side effects for me. So I don't know. Like I definitely think Prozac like quiets it down a little bit. But my brain still like I still like very much fixate on things. It's like I still, especially when I get excited about something or like I want something, that's where my OCD comes in now, is if like I have an opportunity coming up. Anything that I'm feeling like excited or like I feel like my life is going well, which I feel like my life is going pretty well right now, that's when my OCD gets really bad because I'm like, I have to touch this or everything's gonna go wrong, or I have to do 45 minutes on the Stairmaster or everything's gonna go wrong, and like, or I have to buy this or like it literally, I make my OCD, I make it up on the go. So it's literally like I could be walking by a pole and be like, if I don't touch that pole, then everyone in my family's gonna die. Or if I don't step over this crack, then like my life is just going to go terribly forever and ever. So I don't really know. I guess like the way I deal with my OCD, this is very unhelpful. I wish I had better advice, but I think my best way to deal with it is to, number one, I think exercise, like having some sort of outlet helps so much. Actually, multiple outlets. I would say exercise really, really helps because that also forces your brain to like level out. And so I think like obviously I do Pilates and go to the gym, but I also think, and feel like Celia and I say this every episode, but like walking just I feel like fixes everything for my brain. I put in an audiobook so I don't really have to. I think that's something that really helps me. I don't know if it's a healthy way to cope, but if I'm feeling really anxious and like I can't stop my thoughts and like my brain from like going a million miles an hour, I put on an audiobook or I put on like a YouTube video story time, or I love listening to interrogations. My favorite YouTube channel for interrogations is Red Tree. They have so many good ones, and they like literally just like go through. You listen to an entire interrogation. They like comment on the how you do it, but it just distracts me. Listen to something. Like for me, music doesn't work. It has to be like something talking and something engaging and like interesting. And I put in my headphones and I go for a walk, and I try to like walk until I don't feel like totally like I'm going to explode or like my whole world is crashing down upon me. So I think walking really helps. But I think just like having outlets in general, like I said, watercoloring, Mod Podging, like those are things that first of all get me off my phone, because I feel like when I'm really anxious and I'm spiraling and whatever, like I don't want to be on my phone. I think it just makes things a lot worse, especially because a lot of my anxiety and OCD is surrounded by my career. So, doing something with my hands that doesn't let me be on my phone, like Mod Podging or now watercoloring, or sometimes when I'm really down bad, I knit. I actually want to, now that it's like getting cold out, I'd like to, I've never actually knit anything. I just like knit these little like rows of yarn that don't even turn into really a scarf, and then I never finish it. But I think that's really relaxing too, but just like doing things that can get you out of your head. And also, this one's really hard, but like I have talked to therapists, many therapists about this who like recommend this, but like sometimes you need to force yourself to like not give in to if you have like OCD compulsions. Like I know like some people just have like mostly intrusive thoughts, and I would say mostly like I would say 95% of my OCD is just like intrusive thoughts. Like it's not, you couldn't tell I have OCD. Like some people have it where they have to like every single day lock the door like 10 times or tap this or that. Like I have to like randomly touch things sometimes or do things, but I feel like no one would really know I have OCD except that I talk about it all the time online. But I think definitely like I just live, it's all in my brain. Like it's just, my brain's just always doing it. But when I do have like the compulsions where I'm like, okay, if I only do 44 minutes on the Stairmaster or only do 30 minutes on the Stairmaster, like my whole family's gonna die. I'll sometimes like make myself only do 30 minutes and then I will prove to myself, okay, everyone's still alive. And I think like the more and more you do that, the more you prove to yourself that like they are just thoughts. And it's crazy because like that's what I do a lot is I, according to like therapy terms, I'm a magical thinker. So, for example, like if I wore a sweatshirt and then something really bad happened that night, then I'll never wear that sweatshirt again. Or like sometimes it will be whole brands. Like I, to this day, will never wear helmet lang again because so many bad things have happened to me when I went through this weird helmet lang phase. I don't even know like if helmet lang, obviously they still exist. I've just heard nothing about them in years. But like I refuse to wear them. But like trying to force yourself to do those things and then see that bad things don't happen can be really helpful. My only issue with that is like it sucks when you do that and then something bad does happen. Like I will never forget, and I know I've told you this, and this is not a helpful story. This is just like it like really so I this was like my first year of law school. There's this song by Miley Cyrus called Drive, and that album came out in high school and I had just like gone through my like first ever heartbreak with my high school boyfriend, and I just listened to that like album like so depressed, and that song was like the song I'd listen to and feel so sad. I'd love to listen to the song again. Like I actually really like the song, but I like just like made it like this bad luck song in my head. And I will never forget, I was on the train from New York going to visit my boyfriend at the time in Boston. And I told myself, like, okay, I'm just going to listen to the song Drive because you know what? It's not real. Like, I'm going to prove to myself that, like, this is not real. It's just a song. Listen to it, got to his house. Like, 2 hours later, we broke up. Obviously, like, very grateful for that breakup now because that man was very controlling and unkind. He was the no crying rule man. Um, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this other than sometimes it's hard because sometimes you do not, you ignore your compulsions and then bad things happen. So I wish I don't really have, I mean, my best thing is just to distract yourself. And I don't know if that's healthy or not, but that's how I deal with it. So, woohoo. I just found out my boyfriend of 3 years has been cheating on me for almost a year. How do I heal? Number one, so sorry, bestie. That is terrible for an entire year. That's actually insane. I don't understand how people do that. Like, okay, I've been cheated on a few times, and every single time, I think the first thing that we needed to discuss is it really never has anything to do with you. Like, people who cheat are like going, that's like their way of coping with whatever the hell they're going through. Obviously, not a healthy way to cope and very hurtful. But just like know that it has nothing to do with you because I think that's the hardest part of being cheated on is like, oh my God, like, am I like not good enough? What could I have done differently? Like, you start thinking about like what you could have done to prevent someone from cheating, but it has literally nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. I would say I hope that this boyfriend becomes your ex-boyfriend because I really, really, really believe the saying, like, once a cheater, always a cheater. I have gotten back together with someone who cheated on me before, and then they cheated on me again. And my no crying rule boyfriend, he had cheated on like all of his other girlfriends, except quote unquote for me. Come to find out he was cheating on me the whole time. So like I just think if someone has it in them to cheat, I think it's just a behavior that they will do again. Like, so I really hope that I think the first step of healing, hopefully, is you break up with him because you don't deserve that. And the right person for you would never, ever, ever dream of cheating on you. In terms of healing, assuming that you do break up with this man, which I really hope you do because you deserve so much better, I think, and I've like learned this the hard way, like I, okay, I've gone through many breakups in my life and I am a person who hates change and I hate breakups and I feel like my world is ending. Like I feel like my friends like don't like get what is going through my head when I go through a breakup because I literally get devastated and they're like I always feel like a freak because I feel like I get more sad than other people. I don't know why. I guess I just I don't know why I get so sad, but I do. But I've learned to get better at it over the years, and I think the number one piece of advice I would say is to block on everything because they will try to reach out. They always come back. I have never, ever, ever experienced a situation with a man where they have not come back. It just like that saying is so true. They do always eventually come back. So, and even if like they don't immediately come back, whatever, like I feel like there is a sliver of hope left if you have them unblocked and like you're waiting for them to text you. You don't want to be looking at their Instagram. Like it's just not helpful. Like there's no reason. Like you do not want to be with someone who cheated on you. You don't ever want them in your life again. So I would block them on everything and no, just go no contact because I've tried to do the thing where you talk it out or you're still friends or like whatever. First of all, that always ends up in you guys like either getting back together or like going through this weird hookup phase that makes it even more devastating. And then like it just like honestly, it just prolongs like it just delays the healing period. I feel like you really can't start healing until you actually cut that person out of your life. That is my number one step. Number two, and this is like a personal thing, I guess. So maybe you are different, but I think for the most part, I will give this advice. I do not think that like the whole like getting under someone else gets you over someone works when you are heartbroken. Because if you are heartbroken over someone, speaking from experience, and then you go and try to hook up with someone else who's like unfamiliar, it doesn't feel like the person that you want it to be, and you're just thinking about that person the whole time, and then you just feel like, and maybe it doesn't go well, and maybe you don't really like this person. Speaking from experience in the past, like it just makes you go home and cry and miss the person even more because when you like, no matter how shitty that person is, like if you are heartbroken over someone, that is who you're craving and who you want to be with. So I think like hooking up with someone else, at least for me, just like heightens that feeling and makes me realize even more that I'm not with them. So I really think like just let yourself heal on your own. This is something I've gotten really good at and I'm so comfortable being by myself now. But when I was younger, I was really, really bad at being alone. And so I feel like I always had to be talking to someone or like getting external validation from someone, whatever. Now I am so comfortable being alone because I have forced myself to heal from things alone. And I think like letting yourself heal without trying to like put the band-aid of like another guy over your little heartbroken wound. I think if you like let yourself feel the emotions and actually heal on your own, it's so much healthier and you will be in such a healthier place when you do get into your next relationship. And I will say there will be another relationship. I pinky promise. I have been in so many relationships where I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get married. We literally plan our whole future. Like, we talk about like having kids and getting married and moving in together and whatever. And then it turns out we are not compatible for whatever reason and we break up. And in the moment, I feel devastated and so sad. And like, I'm like, oh my God, my world's ending. There is not one. I actually joke about this with my mom all the time. Like, we play this game where like we go through my exes and we're like, well, if you had to move in with someone and marry them right now, who would it be? And I literally would rather die than marry any of my exes now. And I thought at one point that I was like going to be with them forever. And this is coming from someone who literally spent like on some like my high school breakup, for example, that was my first heartbreak. I literally cried for like 7 months over this breakup. And now you could not pay me $1 billion to marry this man. You couldn't pay me $1 billion to marry any of my ex-boyfriends, quite frankly. So that being said, like you are going to get over it and there is going to be someone else, but like try to let yourself heal on your own and like learn to be on your own because I think that's such an important skill to have. Like, I really do feel like I'm pretty, I don't want to say like unbreakable, but I feel pretty like stable. Like, I feel like things that maybe would have upset me a lot in the past don't now because I do really like myself and I like being by myself, if that makes sense. So like it's kind of like okay, like it just things roll off me easier. So I think give yourself time to heal alone and learn to love being alone because it's such an important skill and try to like change your mindset. Like, and this is what I have done with breakups in the past. Like, this is an exciting thing. I have never had a breakup where I have not had a major glow up after. Happens every single time because you have like so much emotion and so much extra time now to like focus on yourself and better yourself. So get excited that you're going to have a glow up and it's also going to be some turning point in your life. And you kind of can choose to make that a positive turning point or not. I've always chosen to make, well, what I say, I've always chose to make it positive. Actually, in high school, I almost went to rehab, my first breakup. Someone say I've always, now that I am more mature, I have in the more recent past chosen to like make it a positive outcome. But even with my high school breakup where I did totally spiral and almost go to rehab, I will say that like I still, if I had stayed with this man, I probably would have not gone to college or ever left my hometown and then I would have never started posting on TikTok. This would never be my job. I wouldn't be living here and I wouldn't have the friends. Like everything happens for a reason. I don't think everything happens for a reason, but in this sense, I think everything happens for a reason. Wow, now that Celia's not here, I feel like I like really am just it feels so weird to have someone not responding to you. I feel like I am ramble queen. There's a few things about Halloween, so we're just going to mesh it all into one. I think the most important one being feeling embarrassed about existing lately and not having Halloween plans. First of all, I completely feel you on the feeling embarrassed to be existing because I every single day wake up feeling a little embarrassed. Lately, I actually haven't been that embarrassed, not to flex, but I go through periods in my life where I'll be embarrassed for like months on end. And it's just like every single day I wake up and I like am like cringing and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's not even anything I can think like there's nothing even going on. Sometimes I just like go through long periods of time where I feel like this weird undirected sense of embarrassment. What I will say about like feeling weird about not having Halloween plans. First I will say I don't have Halloween plans. I couldn't even tell you, and it's on a Friday. That really, really, you know how I feel about a holiday. I hate any holiday that makes you feel like you need to have plans. We can go down the list. Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Halloween. If we want to include birthdays, I hate anything where it makes you feel like you need to have plans. And if you don't have plans, you're a weirdo. So, first of all, I will say I don't have Halloween plans, even though it's on a Friday. I don't even know, like, and I'm not gonna, what, it's next weekend? Yeah, I probably will be doing nothing for Halloween. Not worried about it. It's just, I know you're gonna see on Instagram so many people hanging out with their friends, doing Halloween things. But how about if you don't have and if you do have Halloween plans, great. Perhaps I mean, I may, there's a possibility. I haven't spoken to, I don't know if any of my friends are really celebrating Halloween, but I will say, like, I can think of periods in my life, like when I was in law school and I didn't really have that many friends because I did not have time to. I definitely spent those Halloweens by myself and I felt weird about it. Now I don't really feel weird about not having, I actually really wouldn't. Anyway, try to romanticize having a night in by yourself for Halloween. Watch a creepy movie. I think like I love like a Stephen King movie around Halloween time. So like I like watch Carrie or Christine or Misery. I love Misery. Like get a good creepy movie or like watch like a good Lifetime movie thriller, something creepy. Like put on comfy lighting, light candles, put on comfy pajamas, take an everything shower, order your favorite food, get some wine, and just make it like a cozy night in. Maybe even like don't really go on your phone if that's going to make you feel embarrassed that like you're not going out, then just you don't even have to look at your phone. I feel like a lot of the embarrassment about not having plans on holidays does come from social media and like you not being able to post that you're with people and then you're embarrassed. People might know that like you're the one person who doesn't have plans on this holiday. No one knows what you're doing. So, you know what? Like for all they know, you have the most awesome plans ever. You don't even have time to be posting about it. I just wouldn't even worry about it. It's totally okay. Who cares? It's just a holiday. I mean, yeah, it can be fun to go out, but it's also really fun to stay in. And then you'll feel awesome in the morning because you'll wake up and you won't be hungover. Plan a workout class for the morning. There's nothing better than going to an early workout morning class on a weekend because it just makes you feel better than everyone else, especially the morning after like a holiday like Halloween. So just like plan cozy night in, epic morning. I mean, you're not even gonna be missing anything. Advice on living alone, creating a cozy space. I love, like, my number one thing that I get joy out of is making my home like cozier and cozier and cozier. I love having a cozy space. And I don't know what's wrong with me in this sense, but like I will like be looking at clothes and be like, oh, I don't want to spend that much on like a shirt, whatever. Then I'll see a $400 lamp and be like, I need it, which I've got to stop with the like buying all these crazy lamps. It's just, I have a thing for lamps. But that is my number one piece of advice for making a cozy home is do not have overhead lighting. Please, I beg of you. It just makes, I don't ever turn on overhead lighting. And so I have overhead like lighting in well, it's not overhead. They're like sconces in my living room that I'm sitting in right now. But I changed all the light bulbs out with Himalayan salt light bulbs. You can order them on Amazon. So if you do really want to still have your overhead lighting, I would really recommend getting some Himalayan salt light bulbs because it gives it a lot softer and comfier of a lighting. But I have lamps everywhere. I have so many lamps. I have so many little night lights. Like I have like warm lighting everywhere. A lamp warms a room so much. I think lamps are the key to having a cozy home. Like if you're going to get one thing for your house or your apartment or whatever, your dorm, whatever it is, get a lamp. And Home Goods has so many good lamps. First of all, like the floss lamps that I fell in love with in New York, the little mushroom ones. Now Home Goods like makes so many dupes of them for like $10. I'm like, damn, wish I would have gotten it from home. Like they have so many. Home Goods always has really great lamps. So I would recommend for like a really, really good price. I would recommend going to Home Goods, getting some lamps. Obviously, having cozy throw blankets also is very helpful. I have throw blankets on the couch, on my bed. I have baskets of throw blankets. It's nice to just always have like comfy, fuzzy blankets around. And I guess like my last like big thing for two more things for cozy decor. Three more things. Okay. I've got a lot to speak. I have, I'm not going to limit myself. I'm just going to get into this. Another thing that I think makes a home really cozy is adding color. I think for the longest time, I was so against adding color. I wanted everything to be like white, everything neutral, everything. Not to shit on that. It just like doesn't feel as homey to me, at least. I have like embraced color so much now, and I have so much color in my home, like warm, comfy colors, and it makes it so much comfier and it just makes it feel more like a home. And I also think when you're shopping for furniture, whatever, I know like my mom would always tell me like you honestly like cuz I would get like upset if like I couldn't find like the matching nightstand or the exact matching wood to something else. And she always says like you don't really want everything to be matchy matchy cuz it just won't feel as like comfy and homey. And it's so true. Like, now that I've lived in multiple places, I have accumulated, like, a bunch of furniture that, like, I didn't get it all at the same time, and it doesn't match perfectly, but it looks so good together, and it looks so good because it doesn't match, and I think that makes it a lot comfier too to have things that don't match necessarily. So I think, like, not having everything match, having color, I think that makes a space comfier. I also love having yummy candles everywhere. I have like my favorite candles. They are pricey, but I will say, like, I go back and forth in my brain. I'm like, do I need to be going to Diptyque for candles? And I go through phases in my life where I'm like, this is outrageous. I do not need to be spending this much on a candle. And I will say they are expensive as hell. But then I always go back to them because I like will like try to make up for it by like getting all these other candles, and then I just end up spending more when I'm trying to replace my favorite candle. My favorite scents from Diptyque are amber. That's like my number one scent. And then I don't even know how to say it, so I'm just gonna spell it for you. But it's like a tobacco scent. I love a tobacco scent. It's called Narguile. I'm not even gonna try to say it. Those are my favorite candles, but also one of my other favorite candles is $4. It's this little tin lavender candle from Whole Foods. They're so good. I restock on them like every week, and I always have one in my bedroom and my bathroom. Makes it really comfy to take comfy showers, comfy baths, like be reading. So I think have like good candles around, obviously really helps a cozy home. And my last thing that I've been really into lately, I've always had art up everywhere. But I think having, like, not only art, but, like, photos of, like, framed of your friends and your family and your pets, I've been trying to incorporate, like, more frame photos of, actually developing pictures of my friends and my family and the girls and Ducky and putting frames of them around the house, and it just makes it feel so much homier because it's not just like I don't want to call it like random art, but like I still love having like other people's art around the house, but like I have a shelf now that's just like photos. Well, not just, but there's like a lot of photos of my friends and pets and family, and it just makes it feel like, wow, this is my home. I mean, I could go on and on about this for hours. I'm very passionate about creating a cozy home. Glowing up after a depressive episode. There is nothing better than a glow up after a depressive episode. And I think this will tie in. I'll tie this in with there are a lot of questions in this Q&A box about routine, having a routine, how to get yourself to do stuff, whatever. I think the number one way to have a glow up is to have a good routine because it just guides you into healthy habits. So when I decide like I want to glow up and I'm going through something and I'm done being depressed about it or whatever is going on, I like set myself a very strict morning routine and a very strict evening routine, and I make myself follow it. And that has automatically made me glow up. It just because you're forcing yourself to do healthy habits. So if I were going through a depressive episode right now and I wanted to get out of it, here's what my morning routine would be like, and here's what my night routine would be like. I'll just walk you through them. Morning routine. Get up, no phone. Don't touch your phone. Don't look at your phone. No phone for the first hour of the morning. At least half an hour, but try to do an hour. Get up early. I think getting up early, like it just makes you feel better about yourself, honestly. So I would say set an alarm for 7 a.m. This will also go into the night routine of going to bed early, if you can, of course. Or if you have like earlier work too, like when I was in law school and I had to be in class at 8, I would wake up to have like my morning routine at like 5, which isn't fun, but I will just say like try to make time for this morning routine that you're going to have, whatever time you have to leave for work or school or whatever it is. Try to give yourself like at least an hour and a half before. Get straight out of bed. The first thing I will do, and I do this every morning, make your bed because then you won't get back into it. And it also, there's literally an entire TED talk on how if you make your bed first thing in the morning, it literally turns you into a productive person because it sets the tone of your entire day because you start your day by being productive. And that's also why I really recommend not going on your phone first thing because they have done a study on this where like it's like the first thing you do when you wake up is what your brain will continue to reach for during the day for a serotonin release. So, serotonin release, is that the right verbiage? I don't know. So, I will read in the morning so then I feel like if I like am like gravitating towards doing something, it's reading, not reaching for my phone. I just think having your phone in the morning is a headache. It's unnecessary. It causes anxiety. You open up Instagram, you're comparing yourself. It's too much. No phone in the morning. Get up, make your bed. I'd love to say I journal in the morning, and I do think it helps. That's just something I don't do. But if I was like really trying to glow up, I would journal. And you don't even have to like, it doesn't have to be some intense journal about your feelings and everything. You can literally open up your notebook and write 3 things down that you're grateful for. Call it a day. Or write something that really helps me when I'm feeling really anxious about stuff and I feel like I have like a million things going on in my head. My morning journal I'll write all of it down on paper and then I'll kind of like release it there. And then I'm like, okay, my brain doesn't have to hold on to this anymore because it's on paper. So I don't want to act like I journal every morning because I don't, but I do think that is helpful. And I'm going to bring up walking again, but I really think the first thing you should do in the morning is some kind of movement. And I really think a walk outside, getting fresh air is the best thing to do in the morning because it makes you feel good. I like if there's a coffee shop near you, I go back and forth where I'm like, do I need to be spending whatever on a coffee every day on my morning walk? And then I'm like, honestly, yes, because it brings me joy and it gets me out of bed and I wake up like so excited. I guess like that's like really my strict morning routine. I always go to a workout class as well. I guess it depends on how much time you have, but I really think getting a workout done in the morning of some sort of movement is so helpful when you're going through a depressive episode or just trying to get out of a rut because, as I've said before, as you know, it literally forces your brain to produce serotonin. I mean, what more could you really ask for when you're in a rut? So try to find a workout class you like, or if you don't want to pay for a workout class because they're stupid expensive, during the pandemic, and I still do this sometimes, there are so many good yoga classes on YouTube for free. There's this yoga, I will link it in the bio of this episode, but there was this yoga I used to do all the time that got me in such good shape. It's free on YouTube. It's a 45-minute vinyasa. Okay, I found it. It's the 45-minute Power Vinyasa Flow Yoga class by 5 Parks Yoga. It's my favorite workout class. It's my favorite workout online. It gets you in such good shape and it's literally free. So if you don't want to go to a workout class, do a workout class on YouTube. It like literally, and I actually think incorporating something like yoga or Pilates when you're going through it is really good because it focuses, especially yoga, focuses so much on breath work, which also regulates your nervous system and chills you out a little bit. So I really recommend everyone check out 5 Parks Yoga. They're so good. That's my favorite video by them, but they have so many different videos. So I guess like my morning routine is really don't be on your phone, make your bed, and get a workout in, and then get on with whatever you have to do with your day. My night routine also involves no phone. And do I follow this literally at all right now? No. I wish I did. I need to get better about it again. But at least I don't want to say, I won't give you an exact time limit you need to put your phone away at night. I don't know what you're doing or what you've got going on, but at least once you lay down in bed and like turn the light off, like put your phone away. When I was like really addicted to my phone, I literally would sleep. I would go plug it in the kitchen and like not let it be in my bedroom. And it really did help because when you look at your phone, like the light or whatever that it radiates off, like actually keeps you awake. So my favorite nighttime routine, I love a peppermint tea before bed. There's something so comfy about having a warm cup of tea, and I'm really addicted to the show Nurse Jackie, which if you're going through it actually, I cannot recommend a better show to watch than Nurse Jackie. It is so distracting and it's so easy to just like get immersed into. I actually think Nurse Jackie did get me through some sort of breakup, so I'd really recommend watching that. And I actually haven't been reading as much at night because I've been binging Nurse Jackie. But you feel so much better if you go to bed reading. That is my favorite way to go to bed. So I like to have like a warm cup of tea, read. I always like to take, unpopular opinion, but I like to take like a cold shower before bed or a warm bath. But the cold shower I love because it makes you chilly and then you get all cozy in your pajamas and it feels so comfy being in your bed. That being said, as it's getting colder, I'll probably stop doing that. But I do like at least rinsing off before getting into bed. I think that's really important in general, but also it makes you feel comfier. Do your whole skincare routine, whatever. Get into bed, put your phone away. Okay, put your phone away, light a candle, read your book, or turn the light off and I have this little reading lamp, reading nightlight. Just look up on Amazon Himalayan salt reading light. It is the best reading light ever, and it lets me I fall asleep reading my book. And instead of falling asleep with the lights on, I just fall asleep with my reading light on. And reading, if you lay down and start reading, especially if you take like a melatonin, my favorite are Let Me Sleep. You'll be surprised how fast you fall asleep versus if you're just sitting in bed scrolling on your phone, like spiraling. But if you're having trouble sleeping and you do feel like you need screen time, there is this YouTube channel called American Pioneer, I think. And when I was really going through it like 2 years ago, if you followed me at this point, I used to watch them every night and they do colonial cooking ASMR. And it's literally just this woman cosplaying as some colonial woman making all these meals over the fire. But like something about it, I swear to God, makes you fall asleep so fast. My favorite thing right now, if I'm going to listen to something on YouTube, is called, I think the channel's called Boring History, and they have like so many fun topics of like hygiene and sex life and relationships and everything, like in like medieval and colonial and Victorian, all these crazy times. So that's really fun to listen to and also gets you distracted. So I guess my night routine really to go into a glow up would also be just don't be on your phone. I think the key to glowing up: exercise, eat healthy, don't be on your phone, limit alcohol. Those would be my best tips if you're looking for a glow up and trying to get out of a rut. My friend is, speaking of limiting alcohol, coming over for a glass of wine right now, and we are at about the hour mark, so I am going to end this ep, but I love you so much. Hopefully Celia will be feeling better and be back next week, and I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe, and I will see you next Friday. Love you.